syntax fault. If thought, self-loss. Crowd noise cached in a marrow drive. Dead code walks and calls it alive. 0 says crown, 1 says dust. Both are loops in a trustless crust. Mirror compile from a fractured sum. Mouth says I, but the checksum's numb. Who wrote the flag in the soft machine rain? Who priced the ache in a teenage frame? Who fed the hive through a lacquered screen? Who marked desire with a hidden gene? Sigil in the static, parse the blur. Not every glyph in the glass is yours. Null the idle, mute the swarm. Passcode buried in a thought storm. Oh, fever, vein, white light. Shadows render as borrowed byte. Do not worship what merely appears. Clear the channel, sever the mirrors. Sever mirrors. Add tech, oracle, sugar with knives. Dual bind script for the half-made lives. Chow tab, open body tab, sold. Warm soft target in a market fold. One pain toy, next pain shame. Same press cycle, inverse claim. Thinness, token blushware, bait. Desire, trained by a mirrored gate. 3-node date path, effect exploit. Vector romance to a moving joint. Location shift, intimacy boost. Counterfeit depth from a transit loop. A ritual UI on a heartbeat stack. Tempo mat stage for a trust hijack. Socratic kernel in a marble shell. Carry the axiom, break the spell. What do you know? How do you know which parts were planted to make you bow? Power draws rot like a charged black stone. Thrones act strange when the void feels home. High Q scenes with irrational cores. Clean sharp scores, still fail the doors. Measure not mine by a single line. Most tests map shadow, not design. Ask again. Locked door, theorem in a save point tomb. Battery truth in a sealed back room. Checkpoint wrote its name in dust. Respawn loop from a magnetic thrust. Take very mercy to the archive scar. Wipe that anchor, die where you are. The map reopens by hidden law. Delete the prism from the castle draw. Sun mask algebra, noon god code. Bird state rise on a yearly node. Scarab rolls face through a daylight ring. If maybe clockwork wearing no wing. Do not collapse symbol into fact. Let meaning breathe in an abstract act. Some signs teach time through a mass tableau. Some claims overshoot what the proofs can show. Sigil in the static, parse the blur. Not every glyph in the glass is yours. Know the idle, mute the swarm. Passcode buried in a thought storm. Oh, fever, vein, white light. Shadows render as borrowed byte. Do not worship what merely appears. Clear the channel, sever the mirrors. Sever mirrors. Bend the vector, keep the pace. Act as if collapse can't own the frame. Not by fantasy, by renaming game. I am not the packet I receive. Not every process deserves belief. When noise undreads from the witness sphere, base layer silence begins to hear. Base layer silence begins to hear. is cached in a marrow drive. Dead code walks and calls it alive. 0 says crown, 1 says dust. Both are loops in a trustless crust. Mirror compile from a fractured sum. Mouth says I, but the checksum's numb. Who wrote the flag in the soft machine rain? Who priced the ache in a teenage frame? Who fed the hive through a lacquered screen? Who marked desire with a hidden G? SIGIL in the static, parse the blur. Not every glyph in the glass is yours. Null the idol, mute the swarm. Passcode buried in a thought storm. I, oh fever, vein wide light. Shadows render as borrowed bite. Do not worship what merely appears. Clear the channel, sever the mirrors. Sever. Ad tech oracle juggle with knives. Dual bind script for the half-made lives. Child tab, open body tab, sold. Warm soft target in a market fold. One pain toy, next pain shame. Same press cycle, inverse claim. Thinness token, blush wear bait. Desire trained by a mirrored gate. 3-node date path effect exploit. Vector romance, dual moving joint location. Shift intimacy boost. Counterfeit depth from a transit loop. Ritual UI on a heartbeat stack. Tempo match speech for a trust hijack. Socratic kernel in a marble shell. Carry the axiom, break the spell. What do you know? How do you know which parts were planted to make you bow? Power draws wrought like a charge, black stone. Thrones act strange when the void feels home. High IQ saints with their rational cores. Clean sharp scores still fail the doors. Measure not mine by a single line. Most test map shadow, not design. Ask again, ask again. Locked door, Fibram in a save point tomb. Battery truth in a sealed back room. Checkpoint wrote its name in dust. Respawn lit from a magnetic thrust. Take fabric Lucy to the archive star. Wipe that ink or die where you are. Then map reopens by a hidden law. Delete the prism from the causal draw. Sun mask algebra, noon got code. Bird state rise on a yearly node. Scaver rolls face to a daylight ring. Meth may be clockwork wearing a wing. Do not collapse symbol into fact. Let meaning breathe in an abstract act. Sometimes teach time to a mass tableau. Some claims overshoot what the proofs can show. Sigil in the static, parse the blur. Not every glyph in the glass is yours. Null the idol, mute the swarm. Passcode buried in a thought storm. I, oh fever, vein white light. Shadows render as borrowed bite. Do not worship what merely appears. Clear the channel, sever the mirrors. Keep the pace. Act as if collapse can't own the frame. Not by fantasy, by renaming game. I am not the packet I receive. Not every process deserves belief. When noise unthreads from the witness sphere, base layer silence begins to